Hey, hi everyone, Veronica Berrigan here. Hi Sandy, so glad you're on here. Just give me a quick shout and let me know if you all can hear me just fine. So we have Sandy here, we have quite a few other viewers here. So if you can hear me, just confirming before we move forward, just give me a quick shout out over here on the chat section. Yay! Hey Andrew, how are you? Awesome. So glad this is working. I actually turned it on a couple of minutes ago and it did some funky stuff. So I had to log in and log out. Hey Tammy, how are you? This is going to be a great class for Miss Tammy as she's getting ready to go on another listing presentation. Awesome, Sandy. So excited. Thank you so much for being on the webinar. Thank you for being on time. Appreciate you all greatly. So today we're going to talk about one of the most important things you could ever master in your real estate business, and that is mastering the listing presentation. Remember guys, we keep talking about leads, listings, and leverage. That's really the name of the game. If you can remember those 3 L's, leads, listings, and leverage, that's what's going to really turn around what we call your business, the dynamics, the foundations that you're setting, everything that has to do with building a profitable business in the real estate industry. So let's get right to it. The first thing I'm going to take you through is actually a tutorial on how you should be presenting the listing presentation. As many of you all know, we have a pre-made listing presentation for you, and we just got that redone probably in the last 3 months. So it's brand new, it's amazing, it's beautiful. Maria Hill is the one that our director of marketing who created it, along with some other key players. And I want to show you where you can find it and what you can do with it, and then actually how to present it. Now, what I'm talking about today is when you've been doing your lead generation, you've been doing your calling, your open houses, you're doing paid advertising, you're doing whatever it is that you're doing to drive leads. You got a referral that you now have to go to a listing appointment. You've landed that listing appointment and that seller is interested in you coming their way and talking to them about listing their home. And so we're going to talk about what happens during the actual presentation. In another class, we'll do a pre-listing packages and preparation for like a buyer pre-presentation and all that. But today I just want to focus on the actual listing presentation, you understanding each of the slides so that you're able to tell a story, so that you're able to really relate to that consumer and to not have to necessarily read off of it because it looks really clumsy. I always say it's not about experience, it's all about being prepared. So you can definitely look like a rock star even if you've been in the industry for just a couple of weeks. If you prepare and you learn to actually have your elevator speeches and you have your terms set so that you can actually talk to the consumer in a way where it's actually making sense. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I'm going to show you exactly where to download the listing presentation in our VAC, which when I say VAC, I'm talking about our virtual access center. So I'll show you how to access it, and I'll show you how to edit it, and then we're going to go slide by slide. If you guys have any questions, feel free in popping in on the chat and letting me know, and I'll answer them as they come. I also do have my cell phone right next to me, so if you need to text me or anything like that, let me know, and we'll get your questions answered. So, okay, first thing first, the listing presentation. Basically, you have to go prepared, guys. Once somebody's coming, you're not just going to take the comparative market analysis. You need something that you can show them what great service you're going to do for them, and that's what this listing presentation is all about. So what we would do is go into the VAC Center. You have a link to the VAC Virtual Access Center, or you can just go to the main site. That's www.bhhsaz.com. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to click on Agent Access. And then you should all have your credentials to log into the Virtual Agent Center. This is your hub. This is your baby. This is something you'll be logging into almost daily. So you have your username and password, and you sign on. If for some reason you don't have your users or passwords, you want to make sure that you get those, and that's Gina Ortiz. I'll type her info right here. She would have been the one who gave you all of your passwords as well. So you may want to do some searches on your email to see if something come out. If not, shoot her an email and she can hook you up with your passwords. Now, this is our dashboard, guys. So in the listing presentation, we're going to actually click on resources and we're going to click on marketing. Now we have a couple of things here. Oops, marketing. So we have listing buyer presentation downloads or links. Links would be maybe you have a client that's out of state, out of the country, and you don't have the pleasure or the ability to do a in-person presentation. You should always be doing in-person presentations. Don't let anyone try to get you to tell them over the phone what you're going to do for them and how much you're going to charge them, because it's impossible. They will never understand really the true value unless you're doing it in front of them. Now, if you have an international buyer or seller and you need to do the presentation via the Skype or via FaceTime, whatever you want to call it, then you can actually send them a link to the presentation, which will then open up in PDF, and you both can go over it together. So when you click on that, it's actually going to give you live links that will take you to the marketing presentation. There is the regular marketing presentation here, and then there is the luxury brochure marketing presentation there. Today, we're going to be going over the regular marketing presentation. Also, these links are awesome to use for online advertising and to drive people to the place where they can actually see all the great things that you're going to be doing for them. So that's one thing. But today, we're going to be working on the one that we can actually edit so you can see exactly what it looks like. So again, resources, marketing, and listing presentation. Downloads. So if you're working out of an Apple computer, then it does come in Keynote right here that you can download. Then we also have it in PowerPoint for all my Windows users. And then we also have it in PDF format. And we have also different marketing proposals. We have like the luxury listing presentation, which is a whole other beast in itself, but it's amazing since we do offer the 6-month ad marketing package for you all. Matterport is like that virtual tour where you can sign up to get a 3D virtual tour of the property. And then there's other things in here that are part of the listing presentation that you can print by themselves. So today we're going to be looking at this one, listing presentation in PowerPoint. So you would just click open, and it opens it up right down here where you can just open it when it's ready. I have already downloaded one myself just because I wrote all over it. But what I mean by that is I typed all over it. And this is a great practice for you because in this PowerPoint presentation, you can edit it. You can't take off like the words and stuff like that, like this. You can't do that, but you can edit stuff. So one of the things that you want to do is maybe enter a new slide right here. I've just entered, so just as long as you're familiar with PowerPoint, you're good to go. And one of the things that I use as an introductory, because this listing presentation, the first page you're going to see is a pedigree like no other. So it's going to talk right away about our company, right? That's fantastic. But I think what's even better is to really give them an introduction about who you are as a team. So one of the great sites that is canva.com. It's a free site, and it's super easy to use. It gives you a ton of design things you can use. There's other platforms you can use as well, but you can do social media posts, presentations, you can do posters, you can do your Facebook cover here, Facebook posts. I mean, it just makes it visually prettier and much nicer. And one of the things that we've done at the office, and I can share this link with all of you so you can build your own page, but it's a Meet My Team page. So you may say, I'm a single agent, Veronica, I don't have a team. You actually do have a team. You have a ton of people on your team already. So what we did is we just inserted these little squares that are easily movable, and they show who the team is. And this is Joe, for example, Joe Bowie from our office. His team, he's a one-agent team, and his team is comprised of his lending specialist, Lulu Samora with Freedom Mortgage, also actually she was down here. Looks like he was playing with it because he was adding another loan officer. He even added me to it, which I'm his broker support. Rob Cannon from Fidelity National Title, marketing support. And Kristen Jacobs as his home warranty support, HSA home warranty. So you can include your inspectors up here. You can include any of our preferred vendors. But now you can download something that looks pretty nice, and you can download it as an image. And as it's downloading, what we're going to do is save it to our computer, and I can show you how easy it is. I mean, if you know PowerPoint, this is going to be a no-brainer for you. We're just going to insert it in a slide over there and make it look nice so that our first page of our listing presentation is actually going to be the introduction to our team. So let's just save it so you can see what it looks like. What we're doing here. Oh, downloaded in zip. 1 second. So image for web, image for web. I just want one. Oh, I had a couple of images, that's why. So there's our presentation. And I'm just trying to save it, guys. I don't know why my computer's not being fun today. Oh God, come on. And again, I will send this to you all so that you can actually insert it into your site. I'm not sure why it's not saving, but it should be as easy as saving a JPEG to your desktop, going back to your presentation, and now you can actually add it in here. Insert image. Let's look at, I don't think I have one saved in here, but I'll try. So I don't think I have one saved, but it would have been saved as a JPEG, and now you can save it and add it. Now it'll have on the first page, before you do anything, before you show anything to anyone, it'll have you as the agent, it'll have you as a team. You can even do some blurbs here on about the team. You don't want to take up the whole presentation talking about yourself, because the name of the game is really showing what you can do for the client. Consumers are done with hype marketing. They don't care about the millions of trophies you got or that you were #1 producer in 1998. What they care about is what's in it for me. So don't spend a lot of time on this slide, but I just think it looks a lot more professional if you have something in here that you can actually showcase your professionalism. So that's one idea right away. So you can edit this entire presentation with whatever you want. You can add other things. Maybe you have a focus in a particular niche that you blog about or that you continuously do YouTube videos on. Maybe you have a particular demographic that you're always focused on. Maybe you want to start with the introduction about their community to showcase the fact that you know so much about this this client's home. I mean, all those things are going to make you stand out, so be as creative as possible. In the beginning, though, it's just about the team, who you are, and not necessarily all the things you're going to do, because the entire listing presentation will actually do that part for yourself. So once you get this going, you have what looks like something like this. And many of you may be thinking, do I present it on my iPad? Do I print it? What do I do? Typically, you know, if I have a tech savvy, and not necessarily like that they know technology, but if it's maybe a younger couple or people that are already walking around with their iPads and all that, you know, I would just take it on my iPad or on my laptop and present it from there. And I would definitely leave information behind with them. Like I would leave maybe my 20-step marketing, which we have that flyer for you all that you can pick up right in our office, or you can pick up from GoToTools, or I would leave something else behind that really sets me apart. But you don't necessarily have to print this whole beast and then leave it there, because it can get expensive. We also do have printed listing presentations for you already in the conference room, which is in the middle, not the one where you come in right into the office, but it's actually right in the middle, and you can pick up a printed listing presentation from there. If there aren't any, just talk to Katie. A lot of times she keeps them in a drawer that is locked up, just because they're so expensive for us to print. We want to make sure that if you're taking them, you're actually using them. So we have those there as well. So let's keep going here with the presentation in itself. And make sure we don't have any questions. All right, we're good. All right. And actually, guys, look, I had it already installed right here. So this is what it would look like. Meet the team. It takes a village. I like that. Simple, concise, and complete. You can talk to them about each of the key players. Again, you're not going to spend a million years on there. You can add as many people, or as maybe it's just you that you want to showcase. I'm just thinking that this way it just looks a lot more professional. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so before I go through the actual slides of the PowerPoint presentation, I want you guys to remember one very, very important thing. And I'm actually going to type it out for you so you remember it forever and ever and ever. A listing presentation, the order that you're actually going to be presenting has to be done in 3 ways. Number 1, you have to teach the process to the seller. That's the one thing. Why do you have to do that? Because that you want to overwhelm them to the point where they understand why we are getting paid the big bucks. You want to make sure that they see what the entire process of a real estate transaction is from A to Z. And it's a lot of work, guys. On the seller side, it's all upfront work with no pay, in hopes that you're marketing, in hopes that the things that you're doing to market that property will actually get sold. And so you got to make sure that you teach the process to the seller. Thankfully, our listing presentation is kind of already set out that way, where you can really make a clear picture as to what the process is going to be. The next thing you have to showcase always, always, always is your value. And what do I mean by that? What marketing techniques are you using and strategies to actually get this home sold? Or are you going to be like that realtor that just puts it in the MLS and hopes and prays that a buyer will come? You know, you can't do that, especially with the property that's in the high end, over 500,000. Not to say that you can't do that with even the lower end. You can't do that, period, because unless you have a very low price property that is pretty much just ready to sell, you may get activity from the MLS here and there, but if you're not doing the marketing piece of it, then it's not going to sell, guys. And you're also losing out on a lot of valuable opportunities to lead generate. So the second part when you go into a listing presentation is you've got to talk about your value. What sets you apart? This whole presentation is going to talk about those things, but then you also got to do some soul searching yourself and really sit back and say, what am I going to offer that no other agents offer? For example, for us, we have our home concierge service. We actually provide you a free home staging consultation from our professional home stager, Alicia. And so you can request this. And now when you're going to a listing presentation, just, you don't get to be the bad guy, and you get to say, hey, by the way, I have a professional home stager on my team, which you can add on your team to get her picture and everything. And she'll come and do a free consultation for you. Other times we have people that perhaps offer free home cleaning before we actually list the property. There's a lot of things that you can do to stand out. Overall, what I'm seeing that's working when I'm talking about value is really understanding how to market the property in the digital age. If you know how to do Facebook ads, marketing the property, understanding who the buyer is going to be for this property. If you understand that, we can pull behaviors. We can pull basically keywords that can find our buyer out there without ever having to print a flyer or having to do any type of calls. Now we're using technology to find the buyers based on the behaviors of those that are already buying in that neighborhood. So your value is in not only do you know who the buyer is, but you know how to get to the buyer. And then the third thing after value is your costs. What do you charge? At this point, it should be very easy, if you did an excellent job on the process, the value, to let them know how much you're going to charge, what percentage and what commission, and then your BAC fee. That's easy. If you've done a great job with the first two, the last part should be the easiest part, and then you won't get consumers that consistently try to drive down your commission rates. We're not a discount broker. There's the Walmarts, and then there's the Nordstroms. We're a full service brokerage that offers full service marketing. And the cool thing is we just did a class on this, guys, on marketing your listing. I gave you about 25 different ways to market it, and a lot of those things are already included as you being part of our brokerage, so you don't have to stress out. That's a great checklist for you to actually take with you on your listing presentation. And then if the buyer or seller wants to inquire about dollars spent, you can give them a rough draft so they can see all the work and time that's going into it. So you got to follow that process, guys. Teach the process to the seller, show your value, and then explain the costs. And that will be a lot less painful for you, and you'll get a lot less pushback from them as to selling it. So let's go into the actual workshop. I'm sorry, the presentation. All right, so first and foremost, the first page of the listing presentation, the top is titled "A Pedigree Like No Other," introducing Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Now, you don't want to be that agent that reads word by word of this presentation. So what I would recommend is each of you to either print this or PowerPoint it and make your own notes on each of the things on these slides on what you're going to say. For example, this one I wrote in red right here. Warren Buffett is the third richest man in the world. He's worth $70 billion. In 2013, Buffett made an average of 37 million per day. Wow, that's a lot of money. Hope that stat is right. So check your stats, right? Because this whole slide right here talks about Berkshire Hathaway is built to be forever. It's true of all the businesses we own. And that's Warren Buffett's quote. So yes, there's a lot of information in here about being a Fortune 500 company, a member of the over $200 billion Berkshire Hathaway family, one of the most stable companies in the world, employing over 300,000 people. Again, I would take one or two things from here and then talk to them about it. So what I would say here is, of course, we're ranked among Fortune's top companies. We're a member of over the $200 billion Berkshire Hathaway family, and make it natural. You know, I'm pretty sure you can tell your seller, I'm pretty sure you know who Warren Buffett is, right? And that will really be a great opener to the conversation. So if anything, just say the quote here. Berkshire Hathaway is built to be forever. It's true of all the businesses we own. That's what Warren Buffett says, and that's who we are as a company. And so you have less worries to be working with a credible company such as ourselves. Pretty easy, right? Meet the team, it takes a village is the second slide. And again, you can add as little or as much as you want. Number 3 goes into backed by legendary strengths. Again, we don't go into reading every single one of these. If you want, it is easier to do, but a lot of the times they're not going to know what Inman News is or Real Data. They'll probably know what Inc. 500 is and Wall Street Journal. The numbers, this is for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in 3 states. This is what is owned by Mark Stark, our CEO, these numbers right here. So this is not on a national level. Sometimes I think this slide hurts us. Sometimes I think it helps us because it's just focusing on just our 3 markets, which is incredible. But when you want to talk national numbers, it goes into another slide. So Mark Stark is our CEO, and he owns 3 different markets: Las Vegas, California, and here in Arizona. So we have over 2,000 agents. We have we now have about 24 offices in 3 states. We generate $25 billion in gross income as of 2014, 279,000 total transactions. We're worldwide now, which we'll get into a slide on the international footprint. We're the number 4 franchisee within the whole Berkshire Hathaway franchises. So that's amazing. And actually, this is outdated because last year we were named number 2. So that's even more exciting. Let me hide this right here. And we're the highest average sales price locally and nationwide. And from our slide from our sales award ceremony, the average MLS sales price is only $283,720. Well, when we ran the numbers for a Berkshire Hathaway agent, our average sales price was $408,776. That's almost double, guys. So we're more productive and we deal with more affluent buyers and sellers. Perfect opportunity to mix the Warren Buffett with the average sales price that we're doing to an affluent seller. This will make a lot of sense to them because you're already dealing with people in their hood. And to anybody who's selling under 180 or 200, this becomes even more impressive. So just keep in mind that this part of the presentation, it talks about our own franchise, our 3 states that is owned by Mark Stark. Hope that makes sense. Oops. Okay, local, national, and international footprints. 1,100 now. We're talking nationally, internationally on this slide. So you're going to take them from your local stats. So we've gone over some of the local stats here for our franchise, really focused on the 3 markets that our CEO owns within the Berkshire Hathaway families. Now let's talk a little bit about who we represent on a national and on a level. On a national and on an international level is what I would say. We have 1,100 companies in 47 states, over 35,000 sales executives, over 1,000 offices, 67 billion in sales volume, 199,000 closed units, and 3.5 billion in mortgage volume. So you may want to read all of those, or you may, what you want to say is we have a huge extension for exposure to your property. And then you want to talk to them about all these stats. And then you want to get ended with, a home is one of the most important assets you will ever buy. Warren Buffett said that. So of course, our leader and our commander-in-chief truly believes that. So it's a perfect fit for him to open a real estate company and for us to now be able to sell real estate under this wonderful umbrella. Now this is what gets into, I love this slide, guys, because remember I talked to you all about the process. This is going to explain to them exactly what the process is. You want to spend some time on this slide because this is what they're wondering. What am I paying you to do for me? So you want to show them all of the different things that we have. So you start at the beginning. We're with you all the way. Here's the selling process from start to finish. Meet with me, which is what we're doing today. We agree on a selling plan. We stage a home. And then at this point, you can talk about your free home concierge service. Complimentary. We do the listing paperwork, which we can do today as well. We may have to deal with the price adjustment if we don't list your property right, and you have to tell them that. We coordinate the, right here, listing paperwork. The photos are taken for the marketing, and I do high-end photos, and you can actually provide a slide with a sample of the photos that you do, or past listings that you may have. We get into, this is probably the most important thing, market exposure, which we'll go over during the presentation. Showings and open houses. We may have to deal with the price adjustment if we didn't have it priced correctly. Offers then need to be presented. Negotiations never end. Negotiations start when we list it and it goes through, we close, because we have to deal with appraisals. We have to deal with inspections. From there, we may have to deal with counteroffers. We then can come into an agreement of an accepted offer, which in turn takes us to our inspection period, which is 10 days, and negotiations continue. There may be some repair requests, but I also have a free service of many vendors who can give us basically an idea of what some of these repairs will cost you to see if there's something that you want to entertain repairing. We go through I manage and go through the entire buyer closing process, and then we get to closing. So you want to spend some time on this slide, and you don't want to go over it very, very quickly. You kind of want to give them a 2-cent kind of or 2-second kind of little speech on each of these little different stages of the home selling process, because this is going to give them an idea, especially when you're dealing with for sale by owners. This is why they are paying you. This is why they need to pay that commission, because they can't handle all of this. You know, the only marketing that a for sale by owner does is perhaps put a yard sign on and maybe a free for sale by owner website or Craigslist. So this is where you're showing them the process. Next slide. Dare to compare our services. This is a lot of information. So I would basically pick the top 2 strongest, because I don't want to sit there and read everything to them. So one of them says exclusive BHH franchises with 11 locations. This is just in Arizona. We know your needs because we are locally owned and operated since 1979. This is just in Arizona. One-stop shopping for added convenience. We also offer mortgage, title, relocation, and home warranty services. Well, we do. We have the partnerships. We have HSA Home Warranty, Fidelity National Title, First American Title, Freedom Mortgage, on-site for instant qualification of any buyer leads that may come our way because of your listing. Highly educated sales professionals with extensive training and continuous education. What are we doing right now? You guys are constantly learning. If you're not learning one-on-one, you're learning on the webinars, you're learning on the replays, you're learning by coming to my training events. We're not lying. We really do take pride in the stuff and the continued education that we continue to take on. Full inventory colored buyer magazine. You should take the magazine with you. That's our collection magazine. Your listing presentation should always have one of those. They're free. They're at our office. Take them with you. All of our listings go into that magazine, and we do it for you all for free. So you're not going to tell your seller that. You're going to say, I understand that only 4% of buyers come from print ad, but here's this wonderful magazine that gets distributed to all the ages in the Valley where I'm going to be posting a picture or posting your property. They love that. Innovative marketing and advertising. Our innovative marketing tools are the best in the business. We have a buyer's guide magazine. We have apps. We have Arizona Republic and other new publications. Internet, instant info, online seller advantage, direct mail, home warranty flyers, and just so much more, which we'll go over right now, is what you would say. Internet exposure. You talked about all the different websites that actually are involved, which we'll go in detail about. Open houses, we have over 1,000 agents just in Arizona that we can market the property to, as well as do open houses every time that we need one. 24-hour mobile property information program. Buyers will have access to the information and photos of your home 24 hours a day from their smartphones. We can track who's looking at your property and update them with price changes and open house information. And then a mobile app, and we have a mobile app. And then we also have, of course, the direct mail services, which is the old school way. Our exclusive partnership with Express Docs Direct Mail Marketing can gather addresses by street names and subdivisions in a radius around you, home, and even in entire zip codes. So now you're telling them that you can hit the print as well. And now you know this will change because now we're working with impact marketing. And impact marketing is an amazing service that actually designs, prints, and sends out postcards for you, either digitally or via print. And we have a lot of samples for you all on the pictures, on the digital postcards, on the regular postcards. All of that stuff is at the office in the conference room. So you can go grab these, you know, the listing presentation, go grab samples of the postcards and take them with you. So you can show them, you know, the sample of what you're going to be doing. Our sales executives have access to the tools and technology they need to sell your home faster and with the highest possible sales price. That's really the key. So if you want to go through all of them because they're valuable, then you go through them and then you pick a few keywords from each of them. That's why practice makes perfect. As part of your day, you have to practice this presentation over and over and over, and it'll become more natural for you. Aggressive multimedia exposure. This one's clean and clear and to the point. In today's marketing age, I wrote in red over here, all must be done for best results. Higher price, lower days on the market, and to get a higher price and the lower days on the market. Anyone can find a buyer for your home. The challenge is to create the kind of demand for your property that attracts more buyers and gets you the best outcome. That requires a careful mix of strategies, including intensive local and national networking, aggressive print exposure, expansive online exposure, custom direct mail advertising and marketing materials. Basically, as an agent, I will draw on these strategies to create a custom property marketing plan designed to get you optimum results. And what's your marketing plan? It's that checklist that we keep talking about, that marketing checklist. You can create a beautiful document out of that in Word and say, here's your, especially for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, marketing plan for 123 ABC Street. That's your marketing plan, guys. Now you have a way to actually generate the buyer leads you need to actually get this property sold, which is the entire goal. Print media. Look at my red that I put up here. All marketing vehicles used is really what we're saying here. Only 4% of buyers are coming from here, but we are using all avenues to sell your home. And also because sellers then really expect this still. Even they don't understand so much about the new, unless they're in marketing themselves, they don't understand about the new way of marketing a property on digitally. And so you have to still hit up all these, especially for a high-end luxury listing, you still have to pretty much touch all avenues and ways to market the property. So local newspapers and weekly or monthly publications are a major source of buyer leads. I don't like that it says major on there, but I think it's wiser for you to say that you know that only 4% come from there so that they understand that you know marketing. Your home will be featured in the exclusive Berkshire Hathaway Home Services section of the local community and newspapers. That is extra, so if you're not going to be using that, then take it out. Only if it's a luxury property does it get added onto these newspapers and all of these different ads. And for North Peoria, the property has to be over $525,000 for that to occur. If you have questions about the luxury program, just let me know and I can answer them further in another class or offsite. Next, your home may be in Arizona, your buyer may not. I know basically what you're telling them in this side is I know who the perfect buyer is. Research before going to the appointment. Strategic marketing versus any marketing is much more powerful. So how do you research? you can do Google searches on consumer behaviors based on their age zones, like Generation C versus Generation Y or millennials or things of that nature. You can also get a title company involved to give you maybe stats on who owns properties with the radius around the listing presentation you're going. It's only going to give you names, and if they don't live in the property, if they're second homes, then it'll give you where their current address is, but it'll give you a better idea. And if you had this powerful information with you to share with them, they would really understand that you know who the buyer is. I think that's one of the most important things. If you know who the buyer is, you're going to have a very happy seller. You're going to get that listing appointment, period. Our agents know what speaks to potential buyers and how to create custom marketing plan for your property that captures their interests. This sophisticated multimedia approach features a mix of internet and print marketing, including online home tours, elegant custom websites, and impressive full-color marketing pieces. So basically, I wouldn't read all of this. I would say something like, we have a sophisticated multimedia approach that has a great mix of uses for marketing that include internet and print marketing, and online home tours, elegant custom websites, and impressive full-color marketing pieces. To find your buyers, we can advertise the property in many local, national, and international publications. When working with the Berkshire Home Services Properties sales professional, your properties will receive special attention in publications like The Collection, an Arizona Buyer's Guide, Homes and Land Calgary, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and Robb Report, which the Robb Report is that luxury report where anything really, really expensive makes it on that report. So again, you're talking to them about print ad. If you feel like it's redundant with this one, because it could be, I would just take one of the slides out. I don't need it. I feel like it's too much. Also, if you have your own marketing strategies that are not listed on this PowerPoint, I would add them. Especially, I have this awesome slide or this graph that I created for online digital marketing, which talks about the sales funnels. One of my agents was presenting a regular listing presentation. I had coached her through it. And I gave her this sales funnel, which talks about how you market on the internet. And she was up against a very, very well-educated seller who actually had been doing marketing all of her life. So you can only imagine she knew her stuff. And this was a $1.5 million listing. So I gave her the graph and she did the listing presentation and she went through it all. And when she finally the seller was impressed. She was impressed with the collection. She was impressed with all of the traditional stuff she was doing. And she was really impressed with the name. I think that in itself, you can't even put a price on that. But when she got to the slide that we worked on, which was about online digital marketing and knowing who the buyer is and having the behaviors and being able to target market, the seller completely, her whole body language completely changed. And she told her, this is all I need to know. I know that you know who the buyer is. That's so important. And none of these magazines, none of these flyers are going to get me that buyer. You know that the only way that I'm going to get this buyer is if you do what you say you're going to do through your Facebook advertising, through your target marketing online. And she got the listing. So, was she freaking out? Probably. Has she ever done anything extensively like that? She had played in it. But she does know how to do it because she has me as a coach and we can help each other. If you have a property like that, if you have a really important high-end listing, come sit with me before you go. Let me look at your comps. Let me look over what you're going to be presenting. So this can be tailored as much to what your personality is and what you do, as well as to what really is working out there, especially on the digital world. All right, let's go to the next one. Always knows who's looking at your property. Communication information at your fingertips. So right here, I would start off by telling the seller right away that the #1 complaint that consumers have on for realtors is that they don't communicate enough with them. So you're going to talk to them about your communication plan. At this point, you're going to ask, what is the best method for me to communicate with you? Do you like to be text? Is it a phone call? Is it an email? And how often? And when you get that information, you're writing all of this down. You have to be a really good listener at a listing presentation. Even though you're the one that's doing all the talking, you have to do a lot of listening and find out what their style is so that you can start integrating that. The sales agent listing presentation reports, seller's advantage, and market watch reports demonstrate precisely the type of web activity your property has experienced on Berkshire Hathaway's and all the other websites in our networks. Okay, these two pieces right here, guys, Market Watch and Seller Advantage, oh my God, gold. These are ones that you can pull from your VAC system under the listing. And this is from our National Resource Center. It actually tells you how many buyers, it doesn't give you who the buyers are, but it gives you a number as to how many buyers are already looking for a house that you're going to list. So on a particular zip code or neighborhood and things of that nature, this is a great piece to take with you to your listing presentation. Now you're showing them, hey, not only are there people looking for your home, but I have a report on them. And I can now use target marketing to find these people and get in front of them about your house. The Seller Advantage, many of my agents are actually even using that to get expireds and for sale by owners, because it's already showing the amount of traffic that these websites are getting in this particular area or for this particular property. So these are great pieces that are completely free to you, and it just takes a couple of clicks for you to create them. The Market Watch I absolutely love. It's when you do have a listing already, you can assign your seller to the Market Watch, and you get to know how many registered buyers requested to be notified the minute a property like yours becomes available through the MLS. You can actually pull this report also in the MLS. How many registered buyers are monitoring other listings in your general area, and how many times yesterday, last week, and last month your property was presented on search results to prospective buyers. And not only do you pull these reports, or can you pull these reports, more importantly, you're going to share that with your seller every week. That should be your communication piece. And you should always end it with, and I'm always here to assist your referrals. That's an opportunity for you to gain referrals. During the transaction is the most valuable time you can ever gain referrals, because that's when you're helping them the most. That's when they see you as a hero. If you don't do it then, you're not going to do it later either anyways. And if you do it later, they're going to forget. So unless you really stand out and you continue to be that person that provides education, it's, why would they give that referral to you? So lay out your communication plan on this slide. Ask how they want you to communicate with them, right? Daily or weekly emails. You'll receive daily or whatever it is that your style is in your neighborhood. So really get familiar with this Market Watch and the Seller Advantage. And you can find that all in the VAC system, which again is here under marketing. Always under marketing, and all of your stuff for your listing. Your listing manager has all of your marketing opportunities for your listing, demo and manual listing reports, featured properties, flyers, anything that has to do with listing. Market Watch is in here as well. All right, let me just go check to make sure we don't have any questions. Do we have any questions right now? Okay. Let's keep going. All right. %90 of home buyers use the internet when searching for a home. So that means that me as an agent, me as your agent, of course, will utilize the internet to the highest capability possible to get that buyer that's already looking online. Increase exposure for your listing. We break the internet with your listing is what I would say here right away. Your listing will be syndicated to over 1,000+ websites. And you can go over some of the websites that are offered. They'll probably know what Zillow is, which there's another slide on that, which we'll talk about a little bit. They may know Yahoo, of course, Home Finder, Craigslist, Trulia. Pick the ones that resonate with you and let them know, 1,000+ website. Zillow.com, it has its own slide for a very big reason. We put the largest real estate audience in the US to work for you with the Zillow's featured listings. What Berkshire Hathaway does for you as an agent is we pay for an upgraded version of Zillow so you can have enhanced listings. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, you're going to talk to them about Zillow. Zillow reaches more than 110 million users, and I think that's monthly. That's a year-over-year growth of 66% and ranks #1 in the US for buyer searches. Basically, Zillow is a company that had a ton of money to be able to invest in marketing and driving people to their website. And because they did that, they stole the MLS information and are now selling us back our leads. It's pretty ironic and sad. It's almost like if I don't join the game, though, I'm not going to get a piece of the pie. So it's tough. But now that they've merged with Trulia, they're literally pretty much unstoppable. And so because it's the #1 search engine for buyer searches, as a Berkshire Hathaway's agent, you can say, I am a preferred agent within the Zillow network. So what that means is that when your listing comes up on Zillow, I am the only agent that actually shows up on the site right here. This is only for your listings, guys. So you want to get a ton of listings. Because what does this mean? That those 110 million people that are accessing Zillow, they actually, when they find your property or your listings, you will be featured as the only realtor to contact. And then you could tell your seller at this point, and that's crucial for both of us. Why? Because I pick up my phone. I convert leads. All of those people that are visiting Zillow, since I have an upgrade account, are leads that I can convert into the future buyer of your property. So I have no other competition from other agents that possibly don't have the same professionalism that I do or don't answer the phone. We want to convert every lead that comes our way and hopefully find you a buyer. Now, for you guys on the agent side, you want to make sure you have a Zillow account. You go to Zillow.com. You click on create an account, and you're going to click, it's going to ask you what type of account, consumer or agent. You click on agent, and then you start your account. As a Berkshire agent, it recognizes and it pulls everything from the MLS. But one thing is important, just make sure that it's actually doing it, because otherwise you're going to have to manually go in there and claim your properties. You click on something that says claim your property, and then it takes you to the address area, and then you put the address, and if it recognizes you as an agent, it works. Some of my agents have been having a lot of problem with Zillow, double accounts, or it's just not working. It's not pulling their information. So you can talk to Zillow direct, because that's something that we can't fix on our end. There are errors, technology, there will be errors. So just check your account. It's easy to set it up. It's easy to set up your profile. You can put addresses, you can put zip codes where you focus. The #1 game changer with Zillow, guys, is testimonials. Now we have a feature where any testimonial that appears on Zillow for you will now be filtered over to your personal website, your Berkshire website, which is super cool. In today's digital age, guys, we Yelp everything. Before I eat anywhere, I'm researching it online on Yelp. Hotels, before I do anything really, or a vendor, eye doctor, whatever you want to call it, I'm online checking to see what their reputation is like. And if you don't have any testimonials, it just gets a little bit tougher. New agents, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have any testimonials. I don't have any sales yet. You can do testimonials even from family, friends, people that respect you, but not on Zillow. You do have to have a property correlated with it. And it does track the different URLs that you're, or the different, the IPX addresses that you're basically coming from. So it will not let like one person create multiple testimonials for you, because it tracks what computer they're using. So just overall, guys, create a Zillow account, put your picture on there, put the areas that you focus on, and remember to get that testimonial before you actually close out on that deal. So then we have comprehensive marketing solutions across Zillow, Zillow Mobile, Yahoo Homes, HotPads, Frondor.com, and of course, Google Now. We're capitalizing on the country's largest mobile real estate platform. 60% of visits come from a mobile device. On weekend, it's nearly 70%. These stats and numbers are great to share. This is an easy slide for me. Overall, you're going to talk to them about Zillow, that you're the preferred agent. You convert leads into actual buyers for their property. And we're basically capitalizing on this giant. Trulia.com has just merged with Zillow. Harness the power of Trulia's enhanced listing. Trulia has a unique, unduplicated audience. I wouldn't even start reading all of this. Start reading the stats. 68% are not on all the real estate sides. 62% are buyers who will buy a home in the next 6 months. And that was numbers from June 2014. I really wish this was updated a little sooner, because we just got this in the listing presentation only 3 to 4 months ago. 41% are first-time home buyers, and 42% are pre-qualified for a mortgage. So this is a great slide if you know you're going to be dealing with a listing that will be a first-time home buyer. Online home search. Of course, we have a mobile app. We know that most people are now going to be using mobile for everything. And in 4 years, laptops are probably going to be obsolete. So BHHSAC is a sophisticated real estate destination that offers maximum exposure for listings and delivers high quality, detailed property information. So you can show them the site if you like. And now we're going international, so that's even going to get more exciting. We also have a mobile app that allows you to view property information in real time and at your convenience anytime and anywhere. So I use this on my marketing material as an added way for buyers to search. That's what you're really telling the seller in this slide. Property is just a tap away. The mobility texting platform provides 24-hour instant access on your listings. That's what we call on the road with Arizona Property Mobile Texting. It's easy. Buyers just send a text to 3233, then enter the message homes and get photos of your property, the most current prices and property details instantly. Potential buyers can also dial the number from any phone and get a complete voice description of your property in English or Spanish. Isn't that cool? So you haven't set that up. You have to talk to Nikki Burridge. You each will have your own number where people will text in order to download your app. And the cool thing is that when they do download your app, you'll get a notification in the virtual access center, which will then add them to your database, which is awesome. But then more importantly, what also will happen is that we you can track the activity. You can see what they're looking at, what homes they're searching for. So now when you're calling them, you don't have all these vague calls here. You actually have something to talk about. You know, not that you've been watching them. You'd be saying, oh, you know, I noticed that there's a couple of homes with pools out here that are super nice. Maybe you saw them looking at the same home over and over. Then you have something that connects them and actually makes it seem like you actually were listening and care about what they want. So this really goes over the text app. You want to just do a general overview of what it's about. It's automatically updated. Your agent will receive updates I'll receive updates via text or email. Alerts interested buyers of open houses, and buyers are able to download this feature for free. Our website is also, you want to talk to them about being mobile friendly. Buyers and sellers can enter bhssac.com into any smartphone or tablet. This is a huge thing that we just did recently to make sure that we were mobile capable as we are transitioning into a mobile world. Creating a buzz around your home. Now we're going to get into social media. Targeted Facebook ads. Guys, you're going to go to a listing presentation, go watch my replay on Facebook ads. So you understand what I'm talking about. You understand about behaviors. Do you have a Facebook business page? You should, even if you're not doing advertising on Facebook. You know, you're marketing yourself out there and that's free. And you can talk about, once you start growing your presence, is the total amount of followers on all your platforms. One of the cool features that we have is that you can actually post your listings. I think they have to be over a certain price point, but you can actually post them on the Instagram page. We have, I think over 50,000 followers just on our Berkshire page. There's an email that you send the photo to, and now you can talk to them about Instagram and say, by the way, we post your property on Instagram. We have 53,000 followers there. You can use that as leverage if you don't have a lot of followers. With the thing that I've seen really make a difference, like that my agent that went and did that $1.5 million listing appointment, is if you really understand the sales funnel, you understand Facebook advertising, you understand that it's about targeted marketing and getting in front of people that already want to do business with you, that already want to buy that house. So again, it goes back to the most valuable thing you could ever know are the behaviors of the people that are already moving into that neighborhood. And the title company can help you with that, or you can do your own research. Social media has changed the way real estate is sold today. Your broker will use exceptional networking skills to get the word out and create a buzz around your property. This is why I don't read it word by word, because it refers to you and me and back and forth. While websites and advertising are undeniably essential in marketing luxury real estate, today a broker must demonstrate exceptional networking skills using broker-to-broker marketing, which includes a strong social media component. So you have to understand strong social media. You have to have an elevator speech, 30 seconds. This is what it is. Because social media, it involves everything. You can do advertising on Twitter. You can do advertising on Facebook. You can do advertising on YouTube, on Pinterest, on WordPress, through blogging, and email. These are all the different ways that you can actually socially advertise their property. I have a whole class that I did on social media etiquette, and I go into each of the platforms and I talk about who the audience is in each of the platforms. So if you're working with an international buyer that it's going to be an international buyer coming in, then there's different platforms that actually apply to that. So if you guys want access to that, just let me know and I can send it your way. And I'll give you great talking points for when you're sitting in front of that seller and talking to them about social media. I think this is one of the things that really makes agents stand out right now, because many agents don't understand it. So be sure to, you know, especially tune into any technology meetings that I do. The perfect international partner. And this will be updated in the next 2 months, guys, because we're really going international now. We know where buyers spend their time on and offline. The Wall Street Journal is an internationally trusted publication. Everybody knows the Wall Street Journal. So we did a whole page on it. Delivering crucial world news, insightful editorial, and business analytics. Winner of 35 Pulitzer Prize Awards, it is considered the pinnacle of German journalism. The Wall Street Journal digital and print publication reaches across geographic and language barriers to bring your property to powerful, influential, and targeted affluent audience throughout the world. That's really what I would say. Only that section. Our luxury listings have access to the pages of Mansion. That's another one. So if you're dealing with the luxury property, you want to talk about that. And Mansion Global. If it's just a regular listing, then we're not using it, then don't talk about it. But really with this thing is the international partner, Wall Street Journal, you know who that is. Europe, wallstreetjournal.com, Asia, wallstreetjournal.com, and mansionglobal.com. So I would just use these 4 things as my thing to focus on when I'm saying things here. You don't want to spend an hour on each slide, guys. You want to pick the nitty gritty, the things that are going to stand out the most, and move right on. The world is your audience. As we continue to speak about international footprints, we really do sell your home to the world. We actually get it out to 70 different publishers, including the real estate websites in the UK, China, and Russia. The most successful one right now being China, which is fang.com. Berkshire Hathaway has exclusive rights for MLS to enter into China. And so there is a lot of buyers that are going to be coming down from China, especially in the very near future here. We have an event September 8th at the Kierland corporate office that you need to RSVP by the 19th, where we'll have a speaker, a real estate, incredibly successful real estate broker who has done a lot of business from China here to the US. He's going to be talking about the opportunity that's coming our way. So those kind of great informations, we have a flyer that you can include in there and just talk to them about it and say how you actually have a network. You have people that you can really reach out to bring them this particular buyer. And did you know the total of international market is estimated 103 billion? That's huge. Talk to them in numbers. That always gets me. I'd rather do numbers and all this verbiage. International home sales in the US reached their highest level in recent years, over 8% of the total market share, and in some markets up to 30%. So again, quick, easy, and to the point. We are your North American and global leaders. One more reason, we are home to some of the most productive sales executives in the Valley with a higher average sales price. Berkshire Hathaway Inc. is a worldwide holding company headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, which you should all know that Warren Buffett still lives in the same house, believe it or not. Its chairman and CEO is Warren Buffett, often referred to as the Oracle of Omaha, and who, according to Time Magazine's 2012 ranking, is among the world's most influential people. Warren Buffett became chairman of Berkshire Hathaway in 1969. I do spend time on this slide, guys, because I think that's one of our key winning points. You know, Warren Buffett, his background, his credibility, all that great stuff. So the Berkshire Hathaway approach is to acquire companies with great brands, great products, and strong leadership. And if they want to know about the history, you can get into in March 2000, Berkshire Hathaway became the majority owner of Berkshire Hathaway Energy Company. Berkshire Hathaway Energy Company acquired a majority interest in Home Services of America in 1988. Berkshire Hathaway employs nearly 300,000 people and owns more than 55 companies, including Geico, Fruit of the Loom. This I would use, because this, when you talk about a listing presentation and you find things that you can relate to the consumer, helps tremendously. So again, go back and just highlight what you're going to say. Photography and video that ignites the imagination. Are you using one of our vendors? Are you using Lister Assist? Be professional, guys. You want to showcase on here. These are great samples, but if you're not doing your picture like that, then don't showcase it, because then you're lying, right? You want to use an example, or you want to use this and then go ahead and use one of our preferred vendors. Photography can be anywhere from $70 to $200, depends on the property, and it depends on what else you get with it. But this is marketing. Professional brochures, postcard, and email. We have them printed for all of you in the office, so you can take them with you to actually show them a sample. You can also take them to go-to-tools.com, our resource center, which has over 200 templates. And then now you can take them to impact marketing website off of your resources and the VAC. And they can see the thousands of templates we actually have on there. Those are my favorite. They look like a lot better than these. And these are beautiful already. The ones with impact marketing, guys, that's in your VAC, they're gorgeous. Home warranty protection. We have 2 vendors now, HSA and American Home Shield. I would make my own display. I'm sorry, my own slide here, and I would offer the opportunity for them to see that we actually work with 2. That way, it removes the liability from you. If they do end up using one and they have bad service or whatever that is, it goes back on them because they're the ones that chose it. We have a partnership with Freedom Mortgage. And really what this means to me is an on-site lender ready to pre-qualify all buyers on the spot, including in open houses. And it's really the truth. I mean, if you wanted to call Lulu last minute to do a pre-qual or maybe on the weekend or anything, she really does pick up her phone. If you have your own preferred lender, you can definitely insert them here. Remember, that's part of your team. Key market factors. This is one of my favorite slides. So this is going to help you as we now get ready to talk about the costs. How much are you going to charge them, right? And the key is the first impressions are the most important. How long does it take to sell a home? I love this chart over here. So first you start telling them, we can control the price, we can control the condition of your home, the terms offered. What we cannot control is location, competition, and the market conditions. And this graph right here is awesome because on this side, it's telling them asking price in relationship to fair market value. And on this side, it's percentage of prospective purchasers who will look at the property. If we are 10% over fair market value, the number of prospective purchasers who will look at the property is only 2%. If we're at 5% over market value, it jumps up to 30%. If we're at fair market value, 60%, that's huge. At 5% under market value, goes to 80%, and 10% under, 92%. So 10, you're gonna get at 10% under, you're gonna get an offer immediately. Versus if you're 10% above fair market value, only 2% of people will ever even consider or actually look at your property. So it's your decision, seller, as to what part of the scale you want to be on. If you want to go fair market value, here's what you can expect. But if you want to be overpriced, here's what you can expect. So it has nothing to do with the lack of marketing that I'm doing. It has to do with the fact that we're overpriced. And as activity in the first time in your home to sell, activity is huge at the beginning, first week, second week, and then it starts to dwindle off tremendously. So there are 4 major factors in selling your home: price, marketing, terms, and effective transaction management. Because pricing is one of the most important factors affecting your sale, it is critical to be positioned correctly when you first come on the market. So I would start by saying this phrase right here and then taking them to the graph and you understanding really what that means. Where buyers come from, this is a great little chart that you can go over with them and let them know exactly where they come from. And then you want to end it by telling them that you actually hit up all these avenues. You make sure that you not only have a yard sign within yourself as you're generating leads, as networking. You know, you have 1,000 agents that you network here in the Valley with, and anybody else, 43,000 in the entire Maricopa. 43% that come from internet, so you better have a really good game changing slide that's going to show how you get and generate those leads. And then the rest you can go over them and see what they go through, so they can understand where the buyer is going to come from. At this point, I would actually start talking to them about who the buyer is in your eyes. We have the Valley covered. It goes over all of our offices that are in the Valley. We are philanthropic. Talks about the different organizations that we donate to. Our biggest one this year being American Cancer Society, and we do a big event in October. And then you get to the end, and this is where you insert your comparative market analysis. Now, I'm going to be going over the class on this next week, next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. We're going to do from start to finish. We're going to pick a random house. We're going to pull comps, and we're going to create a CMA. And I'm going to show you how to actually present it as well. So at this point, now we're talking price. Remember, it was process, all the value, which showed all those slides. And now let's talk price. Now, seller, here's what I came up with. Here's my CMA, which we'll talk about next week. And here's where I think your price should be listed at. And then at that point, you really get into negotiations, and the negotiations you're really going to get into are your commissions and the BAC. You know, we don't have to charge $295. You can charge $1,000. You could charge $700. Maybe you're paying for a big marketing expenses up front. You can keep the difference, guys. It's perfectly legal and honest to do that. You're doing it because of the work that you're putting out there, guys. So don't ever feel guilty about that. If you feel guilty about what you're charging, then you're not understanding your own personal value. Confidence in listing presentations is key. Understanding that you may not know it all right now, but you have a great support with your broker, with people around the office that can help you execute what you said you were going to do. So don't be afraid, even though this sounds French, if you don't understand the digital world of marketing, you don't understand exactly what Zillow even does. Don't be afraid to still talk it up, because it's very easy for us to sit down and coach you through it, especially at the beginning. So that's our listing presentation, guys. The key thing is for you all to go back to your home offices and really open it up in PowerPoint and go through it page by page, highlight the key things that actually make sense to you, and practice it over and over. You know, we have people that you can practice with the office. You have your wife, significant others that you can practice with. The key is practice, guys. It's not how long you've been in the business. The key is practice and coming prepared to your listing presentation. The rest is magic. You have a beautiful company with a great name that backs you up. That in itself will be a great door opener for you. Do you all have any questions at all? I don't see questions. But we're good, guys? We have no questions? We're ready to go on that first listing presentation. Who's ready? My son is sitting here next to me in my home office, and he's saying he's ready. So I'm going to send him. So we're good? Ready, Tammy. Awesome, Tammy. I know you have a listing presentation coming up. You're going to kill it. I'm so excited for you. Sandy, bring it on. I love that enthusiasm. Yep, you and Damien, my 11-year-old, are ready to rock this. He's ready, he said. Andrew, do you feel a little bit better about this? We have someone else on here, but I can't tell who it is. I love your enthusiasm, guys. Keep it up. All right, so next week, we're going to be doing the CMA, Comparative Market Analysis. You don't want to tell your seller it's a CMA. They will not know what you're talking about. So you want to refer to it as a market value report. Even when you're calling them, just say, you know, I'm offering a free market value report. So we'll go over that next week. We're going to jump into the MLS. I'm going to show you everything on there, and then we're going to go through it one by one. Your task, guys, awesome, Andrew, glad, awesome that you were here. What your task is from here on, guys, is you will go into the VAC, you will pull up the listing presentation, you will actually work on practicing it and editing it to your to your brand. I talked this morning, and that's all I talked about at our sales meeting. Are you positioning yourself where you have a clear, simple message that will continue to brand you over and over and over? And the most powerful brands, guys, are those that connect with their own passions, their own personal passions. You don't have to go help everyone. But maybe you love hiking, maybe you love animals, maybe you love horses, maybe you love golf, maybe you're a wine aficionado. Whatever that is, we need to learn to monetize that into our real estate business and learn to brand ourselves. When you find your passion, you find your voice, you find what you love to do, and then we put it as a brand, we monetize it and use it as your marketing message. You will never have to work a day in your life again, because you'll be doing the things that you love to do while you're helping others buy and sell homes. So I hope this helped tremendously. Next week, we'll get into the comparative market analysis. It could be very challenging with those, and I'll give you lots of tips. If you have listing presentations that are coming up, if buyer, seller needs, or you need help immediately, reach out to me, guys. I'm here to support your success, and nothing excites me more than seeing agents land those listings and get those buyers in escrow. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we went a little bit over, but thank you guys for being patient and be hanging in there. We'll touch base again next week, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. I'll go ahead and post, I will go ahead and post a link to the replay, as well as I'll send you all copies of the presentation that I wrote up on, as well as anything else that I can think of that will help you tremendously. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening. Adios.